Good evening, everyone. Thank you all again for joining me once more on the Chef Practical Live cooking. So, I hope you guys are okay, still cooking well, living the dream like I am. You all voted for this one, so as promised, we're going to do the prawn tempura Donburi. As you probably know from previous videos, Donburi means rice bowl dish. A little bit of history. Tempura was brought to Japan in the 16th century by the Portuguese, funnily enough, and became such a staple technique in Japanese cuisine that most people believe it was actually invented in Japan. Putting everything in one bowl became a bit of a novelty, and it was widely embraced by the working class because it was so practical. Nowadays, Japanese homes consider it practical to use leftover tempura. I don't know why they have leftover tempura. There's never leftover tempura in my house or anywhere I've gone and ordered tempura, and I'm sure it's the same for you guys. But you could go to so many different wicked tempura places all over Japan. So if you ever get a chance to, after this crazy COVID nonsense finishes, hopefully, then definitely check out Japan and go out there. Sure.
It's my favourite place to eat.
It is.
Scene 78 says hello, looking good as always.
Thank you very much. So once again, if you haven't already, then please go check out our YouTube, share it on social media, and that'd be wicked. We will go through a little traffic lights of ingredients as per usual. If you guys didn't see beforehand the ingredients for the dressing, I put it up on Wednesday, I believe. If you haven't made this yet, you'll have to make it now. It's very simple, just all the ingredients for the sauce. Just put it into a saucepan, bring it to the boil, then simmer it for 15 minutes, and then you're going to pass it through a strainer, pop it into the fridge. But you guys have probably already made it, so just in case. So veg-wise today, we're going to use I've got a red pepper. I've got some lovely kombucha squash that we grew in our garden, which was really excited to use. If you're using butternut squash, that's fine, because I didn't think many of you would be able to find kombucha. Prawns, obviously. If you're vegetarian, you want to use tofu, that's great. I've already got my 2 flours, the corn flour and the plain flour weighed out. And then I've got some Japanese green nori sprinkles, or Aonori flakes they're called. A little bit of spring onion just for garnish. And I'm just putting an aubergine as well, because
We had it
and we thought we'd use it up. So first things first, if you haven't already, get your rice on, and then if you chuck an oven on at about 160 degrees, this is just in case if you've got quite a few bits of tempura you're doing, you can put it onto a tray. Ideally you want a tray with a rack, so this way you can lay everything on nice and neatly, it doesn't fall through and it stops the fat, it's sitting in fat. You also want a tray with a bit of kitchen roll to collect any of the excess fat we're going to pour off from when we do the frying. And I got one of these wicked little spiders from a local supermarket, which was great, so thanks very much to Wahing. And I believe someone else has also managed to get a spider from Amazon Prime. Shout out to Mandy Flutterby. So definitely, if you've got one of these, great. If not, you can use a spoon with holes in. That'll work really well as well. Okay, as I said last week, please be really careful when we're doing this. If you've got a wok, that's fine. If you've got a tool-based, high-sized saucepan, that would work really well. Most important thing when we're doing this, which we'll come back to later, is when you're putting it actually in the oil, is to make sure you always pour away from you. Okay, so that way the fat doesn't splash onto you and you don't burn yourself. And every time we put ingredients in, this will drop the temperature. So it's kind of like in between each ingredient we're going to put through, you need to give it a minute or so to let it get hot enough again to be able to start being ready to use for the next lot. So oven on 160, rice on, and we'll get started with the, I'm going to put the wok on with the oil. Okay, I'm just going to put mine onto a medium heat. As always, my temperamental cooker. There we go.
Marek Miluk says greetings from Bavaria.
Oh, goodness me. Hello, mate. Wow. Good man. Right, so what we'll do first, we will start with the vegetables. So the peppers, just going to take the top and bottom off, and then cut them into 4. Okay, completely up to you how you want to cut this. I cut it in strips last time, which were okay, but I think they need to be a little bit chunky. So I'm going to cut them slightly wider. Okay, something like that, because you want a little bit of texture when you cook these ingredients. Okay. The butternut squash, if you're using it, you just want to take the bottom part of it, not the top. So that's the little base with all the seeds in. And the reason I say that is because it's a bit thinner and you'll be able to get a bit more of a nicer wedge. So that's all the peppers there. So if you imagine that that's one round piece, oh, my rice is done. About 40 minutes. So I've just basically cut it into 4. So that's a quarter, and then I've just taken the tops off. I'm not peeling this kombucha because we actually found that it works really well without, but your butternut squash you will need to peel, okay? So all I'm going to do with this is cut it in half. And this way you get kind of a nice sort of semicircle wedge kind of shape, okay? And it wants to be relatively thin, okay? Because it's going to doesn't take too long to cook when you're frying it. Okay, but something along that sort of line might be fine. If you want to go a bit thinner, if you're feeling brave and want to go thinner, then by all means do so.
If you want to switch that off in a second, so it's not a keep warm section.
So all we're going to do is get all the veg prepared first. Okay. I hope everyone was able to get all the ingredients. I know a couple of people had some issues. Some people I had to use my Amazon Prime to get ingredients to them. But that's fine. I don't mind that because what are friends for? And what's Amazon Prime if it's not to be used and abused?
But if you can use your local shop.
But if you can use your local shop, then please by all means. If you have a local Chinese or Japanese supermarket, great. If not,
or a Korean one, they probably have it there as
yeah,
well.
Korean ones. Seoul Plaza seems to be popping up here, there, and everywhere. So lovely. So that's all those done. My aubergine, if you wanted to use one, I'm just gonna cut into thinnish sort of discs. Six, 2 each, nice. Save that for another meal. Okay. The prawns, if you're using them, I think it might be quite nice if we just cut them open slightly like that. So you got kind of 2 little flaps, as it were, like so. And you got a little bit of something. You got a little bit of tail just to grab. Okay. So nice and simple. So all you're going to do is you're going to take the knife, run it down the centre like so.
That's not butterflying though, is it?
A form of, yeah.
Ah.
Form of prepping them.
If you were using tofu, would you cut it into squares?
Yeah, still cut it into squares, or you can cut it into sort of long strips, kind of like I have done the pepper. That would work fine as well. Okay, and then we'll get onto the batter shortly. This is a nice simple dish. It just takes a little bit of time to get together and just to be really, really careful. Like, you know, I can't stress it enough. That's why I've been somewhat reluctant to do it, because I just, unless you've got a deep fat fryer at home, which some people do, have little mini ones, because then they're a bit easier. You've got a bit more control. You don't have to worry about the temperature. It kind of regulates temperature itself, which is good.
What other vegetables could you use?
You could use mushrooms. We used enoki mushrooms, the little thin ones, which work quite well. I just think they need to be in thinner pieces. You could use your sweet potato works really well. That's always quite nice. You could do leek, little battens of leek as well. You could do onions if you really wanted to as well. There's lots of choice really.
Violilo wants to know where your yukata is.
I don't know. Where's yours, Ollie?
Mandy asked if you can use squid.
Yeah, you could use squid. Yeah, if you didn't want to use prawns, or I think Philan is using chicken tonight actually because he doesn't like prawns for some strange reason. Madness. So we're going to move on to the batter next. Once you've got all your veg done. So in here I've just got 140 grams of corn flour and 60 grams of plain flour just in a bowl. Okay, I'm just going to give that a little mix there. Okay, obviously seasoning. Okay. Okay, and then you want 160 millilitres sparkling water. Here's some I prepared earlier in true Blue Peach fashion. I'm going to pour that in.
Is it fizzy?
Yeah, still good. Don't need to worry. Okay, now it does look quite thick. Okay, you see that? See, I think there's a scientific term for what happens when you mix corn flour like that, and then it settles and goes back to it. I said about crushed ice, and here's some I prepared earlier. A bag of crushed ice. It's not really a set amount. I'm just going to put some in there.
Uncle Shenro, but is that both flours in the bowl?
Yeah, both flours in there. I'm just going to pop just a teeny bit more sparkling water in there. So obviously my scales are slightly out. Yeah, both flours, sparkling water, crushed ice. Give it all a little whisk.
FT Dorset sends a heart eye emoji.
Oh, do this country fair. Right, so there's the batter, guys. Nice and simple. You see all the ice will float on the top. Okay.
What's the ice for?
It helps keep it cold, so that when it goes into the hot oil, the flour crisps immediately.
Mandy's forgotten the ice.
It's not imperative. Just do it without. It's no problem. You might just need a little bit more water in there, just in case.
How much ice Ben Fulan wants to know?
I put about 6 crushed cubes of ice, give or take. It's not masses. It's just more of just to help keep it cold. And also a top tip: keep it in a glass bowl if you've got it, or a metal bowl. That helps keep the heat in. A good way of testing the batter. The oil is ready. You see that? Comes up straight away. Okay, so we're going to turn it down to sort of a medium heat. And then we're going to start with the squash first. So I'm just going to basically put the squash into the batter like so. Okay. And this bit's really important, guys. So, like I said, be really, really, really careful. Nice, evenly coated. Okay. Lift it up. It's all about confidence. Yeah. In the fryer and away from you. Okay. In the fryer and away from you. Okay. In the fryer and away. Okay. Like I said, because this is really cold, it's going to send the temperature of your oil down quite quickly. So you don't want to put too many pieces in, otherwise it'll cause problems. And then you're forever trying to get this heat up. I've got the temperature of this on about medium heat, medium to low. Okay, so it's just that. And then you want to just, with your spider or a spoon, just break it up so that it doesn't all stick together in pieces. Like that. So everything should be frying individually. Don't do what I'm doing, because I know what I'm doing. Right? And I worry about your tender digits and those wonderful people that have used their hands for their work.
What's that saying of do what I say, don't do what I do? Or...
Yeah, do as I say, not as I do.
Smells so good already.
Okay. So you want to get it so there's just a teeny bit of colour on there. Okay,
Don't touch it though.
you can see how crispy it is already.
Oh, that's
Really
so
nice.
good.
Okay, so
What sort of oil did you put in there?
I just use plain old vegetable oil. Okay, it's a neutral flavour. Okay, and it's ideal. You can use rapeseed if you want, but I don't really see much benefit in it really. When vegetable oil is easy and to use. Okay, so now what you'll see is when I put this next lot in, it might not fry as thoroughly and as quickly because the oil's cooled down a little bit. But what you want to do is, if you've got the temperature right, you should just about colour each time nice and evenly. Keeps it really well. Okay, and then just dab with a bit of blue paste, bit of paper, and I'm just going to put these on my oven tray like this, just to help separate everything. Okay. Lovely. Again, I will say it again, but when we finished all the deep frying is, don't obviously keep the saucepan away. Move it from the stove if you can, if you feel confident enough to move it. Okay, and then let it go completely cold. Leave it till tomorrow morning and put it into little jars or a bowl or some sort of container. Okay, you can use this oil again. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, there's nothing wrong whatsoever. You can reuse this 3, maybe up to 4 times, depending on what you're frying. You can even use it for chips if you're feeling confident. But I just put them in jars. Once they're cold, keep them in the cupboard and reuse them when you like. In fact, it's a little snippet. Next week, you're going to need it again. If you feel confident again, you want to try it. I'm thinking about doing. Actually, I'll tell you at the end. But we're going to do something really special.
Something oishi.
Yeah, really nice. I think it's another one of those lists. I want to start. I think now that we've done this a few times now, all these little things, I think we can maybe look at venturing forth to a bento box at some point. Maybe the last time before I go back to work, we'll do a bento box. So we can do a little bowl of tempura, some rice, a little something else. So these are all little techniques that we've sort of been learning over the last couple of weeks, and certainly in the last lockdown. It's come through really nice. Look at that, really nice. Nice and crispy.
Oishi.
Asbestosis. Okay.
Edith says, yes, bread.
Give her a TikTok account. She's suddenly a wizard.
She hasn't got a TikTok account.
I don't think Edith knows you're making tempura.
What do you mean she doesn't know how to make tempura?
During halfway through.
Edith, I'm making tempura.
See?
If you look in there, just slightly, still slightly soft there.
Hey.
Very nice.
Hey.
Have the next week then. Right, so I'm going to do the aubergine next, which is for me. But you can go with, after the squash, you can do the peppers. Okay, and put the aubergine in. How's everyone getting on so far? If you're able to pop a message in. Media team extraordinaire, who's it's on hand, answer any questions or what's going on. This is getting all exciting stuff.
Edith's getting very excited now. It's tempura vegetables.
This is noise.
Yeah, great prawn. I remember.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, hilarious. Well, it's hilarious until it came.
That was interesting. I think it's the only way to have aubergine.
It's true. Okay, what I'm going to do next, I'm just going to put these, so these stay nice and crispy. I'm going to put the sweet potato in the oven, okay, to keep it nice and warm. And then because that the rest will cool down quite quickly. Okay, so just going to keep that on in the oven there. See, it doesn't actually take too long to actually do them. That's what's sort of a bit of a blessing about this, because it doesn't coat it like a chip batter does. You know when you have fish and chips. It's a very thick
Explain
batter.
what tempura is for Edith especially. What is tempura?
Tempura is a Japanese batter made from corn flour and sparkling water. So it's much thinner than a batter you would use for fish and chips. Usually those ones have got beer in, and it's just a much crispier batter and much thinner and white usually, whereas beer batter fish and chips are usually have a slight yellowy kind of
Golden tone.
yeah golden colour.
Ben Phelan also wants to know if he can tempura a Mars bar.
You can, Phelan, if you really want to. If you've got a Mars, I'm probably not a Mars bar. I'd tell you want something a bit thinner. I would suggest
A Kit Kat.
a Kit Kat. Yeah, that will work. Like something lighter, like a 12, because the thing is with why this was ever invented. Why was this ever invented? The Mars bar. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I have eaten one or two in my life. And I felt somewhat immoral after it. But the reason that with the batter used for fish and chips when you do a Mars bar, because of the density of a Mars bar, it's able to hold a bit better. This, because it's a very thin batter, you want something like a twirl or something like that to be quite thin and light to batter. But has Phelan ever had a battered Mars bar? I will await his response. Okay.
Ollie
So-
wants to see a cook along when Ben does it though.
Huh?
Ollie wants to see Ben do a cook along. Tempura chocolate bar.
Welcome to Chef Phelan's Cook Along. Today we're doing battered Mars bar, followed by a battered Twix. while on a roof.
Mandy's enjoying this.
Good. That's the main thing.
Ben Phelan's already cooking a Mars bar.
Put a picture up, Phelan. I'd love to see that. Just don't mistake it as something else and put it on the tempura meal. Otherwise, your family might be, I don't know, they might be pleasantly surprised. Might be pleasantly concerned. Right, so that's the peppers done. So again, nice and thin. I'm going to start with the prawns next. So with the prawns, you want to get them the tails. Put the tails in. And again, away from you. Nice and safe.
Edith is worried about your fingers.
I'll go about the fingers. I once saw a chef who was a busy service, and he cut himself, and he hadn't really got time to stop and put a plaster on, so he just burnt it on the stove just to cauterize it. So we get used to this kind of thing.
Your dad's just joined us below, and Jimmy says you have a go at this one.
Yes, Jimmy, get feeling better. Thank you, Father. Right. Okay, so the prawns have gone in now. Just going to get them up a bit there. Get them looking great. Okay, get rid of this stuff. Back. So by now, guys, you should have everything sort of cooked now or cooking. Okay, the last little bits. Okay, the rice should be done. Turn that off now.
She needs a little mix.
What sort of rice are you serving it with?
Always serving it with sushi rice. Such a... My boss loves this. I love sushi rice. My wife loves sushi rice. Debbie loves sushi rice. Doesn't she, Debbie?
Yeah.
What I would like to try in tempura next, my love, is sushi. Like in that book.
I've had tempura sushi. It's delicious.
You've got some here, I'll give it a go. Oh, you know, as soon as I open this, the dogs are going to come around.
They're like... They do love
What
to
are you
eat.
trying, Si?
I'll do the nori. I'll do the tempura nori. See what that's like.
Oh, but not sushi. I was talking about like made sushi.
Oh, you mean like maki roll?
Yeah, like a maki roll.
We'll start with this, shall we?
Yeah, I'm just, you know. Is that for the doggos?
Yeah. Can I have him in a minute? In a minute.
He's come to stand by my side.
Squid's out now.
That's prawns.
Prawns.
Prawns. Is it doing good? I hope so.
So, I think we're about ready to dish out now, guys. So, while that's cooking there, I'm just going to put rice in a bowl. Whichever wonderful man invented the rice cooker. I love him dearly.
Might have been a woman.
Oh, this is true. Okay, so then now guys, we're going to put a little bit of this dressing. Okay, we're just going to pour a little bit over on the rice. Okay. And this lasts up to 3 weeks. Okay, so keep it in the fridge. Use it for other dressings. You know, if you want to get some edamame beans and some shiso leaves or something like that, make a nice salad. These are little Aonori flakes or seaweed flakes. Okay, we're going to put that on there as well.
In Japan, don't they often put the sauce over everything? But
Yeah.
that can make it soggy, which I don't like.
No, nice soggy.
Don't like salt.
There we go. So prawns, set them on top. Oh, I think it was 4 each, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what you said to us earlier.
Them in the middle. You can use chopsticks if you want, guys.
How's the,
Yeah, it's a cool little, a bad little thing actually. It's pretty cool.
awesome.
Right. Take this out and steam my glasses.
Now you look like one of those glasses anime guys when they put their finger on the thing and their eyes shine.
Okay.
Somebody's sending loads of parts. They obviously liking the look of this side.
Good. This is a pretty cool little garnish. I might steal it for work.
Wait, she.
We'll do this for the girls someday.
You can do it though, I'm scared.
We'll borrow Anna's fryer.
That's a good idea.
Anna, if you're watching, we're going to borrow your fryer. Thank you. Look at my picture.
You have to take another picture.
Oh, no.
In the theatre world, they say if your dress rehearsal doesn't go well, opening night's going to be amazing.
And there we have it, guys. Oishi. Tempura don.
Tendon.
Tendon, tempura don, tempura donburi, whatever you want to call it. It's all oishi. Okay, so here we are, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Get yourself enjoying this. Post a picture up on Instagram, tag me in it. Yeah, put them on your stories, it'll be wicked to see.
The sauce will be for dipping as well.
Yeah, the sauce I'm going to just pop in the little side so everyone can take a little bit and dip it in the sauce. It's really important. You'll love it. It's really lovely. Next week, we're going to do a curry udon. Okay, so it's like a bit of a fusion of curry spices with Japanese flavourings. And I said you need the oil. We're going to do chicken karaage. Okay, really simple. Really excited. I'm going to test it out tomorrow, and you can see a picture of it when we go up. But yes, thank you very much for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. It is making my lockdowns so much more bearable to be able to crack on and do these wicked things for you guys. But yeah, thanks very much. See you next week, 5 o'clock Friday. Thank you. Take care. Bye.